Gemini, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's get started and see what messages we have for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising positions for the week ahead. Now, keep in mind, my friends, these are general readings and will not resonate for everyone. So make sure to check out your other placements so that you can get a more complete picture. And if you would like a personal reading, you can find the link for that in the description below. Okay, my friends, let's get started for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. What is the energy around the week ahead for Gemini? Okay, Gemini. Bottom of the deck is happy, happy. I love this card. It's such a lovely energy of joy and feeling happy and fulfilled on an emotional level and doing things that make you feel happy, really tuning into your happiness. And this is happening at a time where there is something that has come to an end. Seeing this time to go card tells me that, and especially that it came out with this message in a bottle in reverse, that really tells me, Gemini, that there have been some signs and synchronicities showing you certain things that maybe you haven't really wanted to see as being an ending, but it's almost like the writing's on the wall. The writing's on the wall is what's coming to mind, is that the writing's on the wall that something has ended, and it may have ended at a time, or in a way, I should say, that was outside of your control. So there was a change in the wind, it led to an ending, or this ending is leading to a change in the wind for you that's outside of your control. It's based on this ending. And it feels like, you know, you've attracted this because of a need for this situation to happen. So it makes me feel like in order to be happy, it kind of feels, Gemini, like you put out this intention that says, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy. And you're putting out that intention, and you're putting it out in the positive, or excuse me, in the present tense, because you're manifesting it. You're wanting to actualize that. And so you're saying to yourself, you know, I am living a life that I feel happy with. I'm happy with my life. I feel happy. I am happy. I'm choosing to be happy. I am embodying happiness. I am choosing to become happy. I'm, you know, like you're really focusing on your happiness, your emotional happiness. And as a result, some things are no longer in alignment with that. And so I feel like they've got to go. We're seeing this time to go card, and it's leading to a lot of changes for you, this ending, because it's like you've decided that something no longer brings you any happiness. It's like you realize that. So everything is shifting around you because you're embodying this new energy, and it's bringing you to a place that I think you didn't expect to find yourself here. And it's funny because it feels like as much as you didn't expect to find yourself here, you're not sure how this all happened, right? Like you're almost wondering, like, you know, like you don't really feel ready to let this go. You might not be feeling ready to face this ending, but you're at a place where it's sort of like, you know, you're gonna have to, like, it's outside of your control. So it's interesting, the mix of cards you've got here, because I feel like as things shift, they bring in a lot of realizations for you. And all of these realizations are trying to get you to release this idea that somehow you're not worthy, or you're not enough, or you're not whole and complete as you are. It's interesting, right? Like it's you're really being guided here to just feel like this idea of embody it until you become it. You know what I mean? I don't like the expression fake it till you make it. I don't know why. I've just never liked that expression. I do, however, enjoy the expression of embody it until you become it. That idea of embodying something in the present moment that your current circumstances may not reveal that to you just yet, but when you embody it in the present, it shows up. And I feel like that's what you've done here. You've embodied something, and it's showing up in the form of change. and redirection. And you're being guided to release anything you're holding on to too tightly here, because you're moving in an interesting way that is responding to the law of attraction. And you're attracting a lot of abundance and a lot of happiness, and it's coming at a time where you might not feel confident to make a move, but again, embody it until you become it, and then it shows up, and I feel like it's all about releasing limitations. You're releasing limitations in terms of your beliefs about yourself, your experience, your abilities, your capabilities, your potential. You're releasing all of those limitations, and now it's time to go. It's time to move into this. Even if you don't feel quite confident yet, that's okay. Just embody this now. You know what I mean? Don't let yourself get caught up in fear or limitations, because that will change the direction that this goes in. I feel like right now you need to embody it as if it's here, the confidence. Embody it. What would it feel like if you were confident? And then, start to step into that. Look at when I cut the deck, we see the Empress, card 3, with the 3 of Wands. So that really tells me that you can create whatever it is. You can choose to become whatever you desire. You can choose to become whatever you desire, Gemini. And I think that your ultimate desire is to be happy. That's your ultimate desire, is to be happy and confident and to feel like you're moving towards abundance. And I think you are. That you might not see it yet, but it's there. It's in the vortex, and everything is reorganizing to align you to that. There is a bit of a rebirth happening here. And as I say that, I see the Page of Cups on the bottom of the deck, which that energy brings in this rebirth, right? Very interesting. Okay, let's see what the tarot cards will show for you, Gemini, as you are embarking on this path. There's the 3 of Cups. There will be celebration. And I feel like there's also a message here for you to surround yourself with supportive people and to celebrate the wins. Celebrate embodying it now, even if you don't quite feel it. There's the 2 of Pentacles. So you could go one of two ways with this, but I feel like you're starting to realize that you're actualizing a lot of change in your life right now by shifting towards your desired outcomes. And that's not to say you're attached to outcomes, but I think generally speaking, you're just saying out loud, I am happy. I feel content. Like your desires are to increase your vibration into a place where you feel happy and joyful. And I think you're really working with this law of attraction, and it's bringing it in. It's bringing it in. It's just going to require you to sort of be grounded in yourself and to not overly distract yourself here. Like, don't focus on other people right now. And that's a funny message to give sometimes, but you need to focus on you. Sometimes in these spaces, we find ourselves focusing on other people because it's a distraction, and it's easier. It's easier in these moments to focus on others than sit in this uncomfort of change outside of our control, where you're sort of being divinely redirected towards some other outcome, and you're just catching up with it, right? Your energy is still catching up with that. There's the Wheel of Fortune, though. That confirms to me what I'm saying here. Like, you're being moved along a path here, and the best thing to do is to go with the flow. Don't resist this. And again, don't leave things out of balance, right? Like, don't overly give to others and not be open to receive. Keep things open so that if you're feeling a desire to focus on others, give yourself some equal focus, okay? And this could also be coming through because you might be a person who is always giving but not willing to receive. And that might be shifting for you here. So you might need to be open to this friend group, this tribe of yours, your soul group here, in the Three of Cups, you have to be open to let them support you too. I feel like you're the kind of person, Gemini, that is always ready to give to others, even if it means you take from yourself. You're okay with that. But it's like, will you allow anyone to give to you? Are you open enough or vulnerable enough to allow others to see you and give to you and support you and love you? I don't know. You're going to have to answer that. This is the Devil card coming through as I ask the question, because I feel like this is actually moving you into some shadow work to say, am I open? Do I let others love me? Do I let others serve me as I serve others? Good question. Gonna need an answer for that. And I think that's helping realign you to something new, is that you're realizing, I don't always have to just be the leader. I can also receive. There's that Aries energy coming through. I do feel like you thrive when you're the leader, but can you be a follower? Can you follow someone else's lead? Can you take someone else's advice? I think you're used to being the person that people go to. And seeing the Six of Wands in reverse here tells me that that strategy isn't going to work for you moving forward. You've got 2 sixes here, which tells me that you're evolving and you're expanding, but the path needs to be open. And it's like seeing these 2 sixes in reverse tell me that you don't need to look outside of yourself for validation, but by being open and vulnerable and expressive, that is something that could serve you here. But I feel like that's outside of your comfort zone. But perhaps that's where you need to go. You know, you might need to get out of your comfort zone. I think your comfort zone is when you're in the lead and you're a good leader. You know, I feel like you in your life path function best when you're in the lead, and the people that you're leading appreciate you in the lead because you're trustworthy, you're reliable, you're a good leader. You're a very good leader, and that's where you're comfortable. But now it's like it's switching, and it's time for you to take the lead of another, or to be more collaborative than just being in the leader's chair by yourself. And this is an interesting time for you. You might be needing to walk away from things that feel really comfortable because they just don't serve you anymore. You're on the move here. I feel like you're leveling up, and it's going to need patience and flow and trust when I see the Temperance card here. And that came out with the King of Swords in reverse. So that tells me that you need to be flexible, Gemini. That King of Swords, when he's in reverse, can be very inflexible. So any inflexibility on your part could play against you. So that's what I'm saying. This is taking you out of your comfort zone, but you're getting this beautiful 8 of Wands on the bottom, which is like a green light signaling to you, keep doing this. Like keep moving, keep this momentum going, right? Follow this momentum, follow these 8 wands, because they're leading you to, I feel like you're really working with the law of attraction. Like you're attracting in whatever energy you're holding. And I feel like by focusing on embodying this happiness, that's going to bring you to happiness. That's going to bring you to a path that really opens you up to happiness. And I feel like it's a time where you have to sort of commit your time and energy to something that you've realized is the path that leads to your happiness. And it's sort of unfolding around you, very much outside of your control. Like, and that is uncomfortable for you, I think. I think you're used to being the one in control. And so having things flow outside of your control freaking you out a bit. But you're being guided to sort of put your mind at rest, allow yourself to recover from anything that may have felt like too much of a change. Give yourself that time to recover and trust your higher self, right? We see the high priestess there. There's no limits, right? So trust yourself. Trust that your higher self is guiding you towards that happiness that you're embodying. And it feels like you're becoming a master at something that's helping you to heal and see a future outcome where you're in balance and you see eye to eye with your higher self, and that you're able to sort of manifest and actualize your desires, right? Like King of Pentacles. And I feel like that is a very new beginning for you. Seeing Fool on the bottom of the deck, but it's going to involve taking a risk. That's the beautiful thing about this card, is that yes, it's a new beginning, but it starts by taking a risk. It starts by trusting the ending, right? Because you've got this time to go card that started your reading. So it's time to go towards taking a risk and taking a leap of faith towards this new beginning where you're sort of operating differently, right? You're operating differently. You're being guided as opposed to driving, right? Big difference. You're seeing a connection to your higher self. You're becoming a master at something new. You're embracing all of your potential, and you're like, really, the sky's the limit, but you've got to step into outside. I was going to say you've got to step into this, and then I wanted to say you've got to step outside of your comfort zone. So you've got to step into this by stepping out of your comfort zone. So stepping into a new beginning starts by stepping out of the comfort zone. All right, to close this reading, what are the final messages here? We see flow and purification coming out for you. And on the bottom of the deck, we see opportunity. I love that. So there's an opportunity for you to get into flow. And when you get into that flow of the divine feminine in this beautiful moon imagery here, this full moon, you really purify yourself. And the yellow sunflower of this card makes me think of all of the possibilities and all of the new beginnings that await you. It's very healing what's happening, and it's purifying you. And that purification is bringing you to a place of abundance. It's a metaphor for your prosperity. It's a time for expansion. It's a great detox here. You're clearing and cleansing and releasing. This is what's happening right now. So try not to hang on to any resentments, guilt, or shame, or blame. Purify yourself, declutter your environment even. Okay, let things go that don't serve you. And I feel like you know what those things are. You know, let the old, outdated energy be released and cleansed so that you can really get into that flow, you know. And I feel like that flow is leading to that abundance for you. And getting into flow could be you literally doing the letting go exercise, and to not resist, and to trust the higher self is guiding you, and that, you know, things might not feel smooth because these changes are outside of your control. So when you enter into the flow, but you do so with gratitude, right, and trust, you end up healing very, very, like, you end up healing so much of these things that need to be purified. The focus becomes the healing and the purification, and you're left with this happiness and this grace and this abundance and this balance. And it feels, it's interesting. It feels like it's bringing in this marvelous new beginning for you that is going to be such an opportunity, you know, and that opportunity card showed up. And it's interesting because that opportunity feels like one that is meant for you at this time. And it again, it brings up this idea of abundance, health, longevity, vitality, joy. there are so many things happening to get you into this state of fulfillment right now. All you have to do is not resist it, and let go of the things that are in opposition to that flow and that joy and that abundance. And this idea of embodying it now. You know what I mean? That's universal law, right? Like, it's interesting. As you stay open and receptive, the physical and the emotional gifts will come into your life. Instead of sort of not trusting that, it's interesting. Sit into the acceptance of that. Accept it. Feel yourself opening to accept. Again, and if you don't feel confident to open up, use that sort of thinking of embody it until you become it. You can choose what you want to become, Gemini. And I feel like you can choose to embody anything. It's up to you. You can choose to embody the things that no longer serve you, or you can choose to embody the new expansion of the flow around you that's guiding you towards something that is very freeing, abundant. It does take a leap of faith, and it will take a certain amount of risk. But ultimately, that risk is just, can you risk trusting yourself? Do you know what I mean? It's very interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining me for this reading, Gemini. I hope it's been helpful. I look forward to reading for you again very soon, and I'm sending you so much love and light. Take care.